Hi, so we're on day 5 today. I can't believe we're on Friday and we're 5 days in already. So anyone watching, please tune in, and anyone watching on replay, hashtag replay, and let me know that you've been here and drop a comment in the comments box. So what I want to talk about today is about how one of my clients this week has had a £25,000 day. A £25,000 day. Now that is a very big tangible, but what I want to do is I want to go deeper on how this happened and how this occurred for them, because this client is a long-term client as well. So, and they've made many thousands in their business. However, what I want to talk to you about today is the up level and the requirements that they needed and they put in place to be able to change their identity, to be able to be the receiver of someone that received that amount of money in one day, to be the receiver of who they are stepping into in their business, because this required a whole lot of level of changes. Now, when this client first started working with me, they were having like fluctuating income months. They were, up and down. Sometimes money was coming in, sometimes money was going out. It was coming in and out, in and out. And they were really, really amazing at attracting money, but not fantastic at holding it. They would get to a certain level in their business and they would start to sabotage. The unconscious would start to sabotage. And this was playing havoc not only in the impact for their life, but with their client results as well. So when they first started working with me, they were having these feast and famine months, and they were, they would get to a certain point in their life and their business, and then it would all come tumbling down and they would feel like they were back to the beginning again and having to go again. And this always felt hard for them. It felt like it was a challenge. It felt difficult. And what the work that we have done together is by really tackling into the identity shifts that they require to be able to get to the level that they're at now. Because if they'd continued on the path that they were on, it is likely, yes, they would have brought money in, they're a big manifestor, a big attractor, but they would have sabotaged their progress. So, and I've got notes again as well. So what did we do in the work together to enable them to do this? First of all, they had to get very clear with who they are and how they positioned themselves in the industry. Now, there was a lot going up for this person because this person had a lot of unique talents. They were an absolute natural at what they did, but they weren't fully owning their unique quirkiness, their personality. They were not allowing that to come through. There was lots of unconscious beliefs playing out that they couldn't be who they truly are without judgment, without ridicule, without criticism. So that was playing out as well, which was holding them back on many levels. They were ready to go, but something was unconsciously playing out that was sabotaging any time they got bigger and their income got larger. So what we did was we worked around their identity, and we did a lot of deep work around this, where what did it look like for them to just be truly who they are and own what they do and their unique talents and put them out there. And that required a lot of shifting. It required a lot of cognitive, subconscious work, because they were running on a program that had been programmed for years, and this program was just looping round, and consistently coming round whenever they got to the big leaps. So they were never able to make those up levels, because the minute they started making those up levels, their unconscious mind would, sorry, my phone has gone off. Their unconscious mind would bring them back into safety. It would just hijack them, and they would have a default position that they would sit with. And that then resulted in them retreating, holding back. So using the tools and the skills that I use in my programs and with the one-to-one clients that I have, I was able to recognize at what point this client was starting to sabotage, and we started to create a strategy around that. We started to create a strategy around their boundaries, their safety, what was going on in their mind at the time they went to make those up levels, they went to make those changes, and we started to implement a strategy and a plan, also do the deep nervous system regulation work that allowed them to become safe in their body. Because when you're safe in your body, then you're going to be able to make those moves, those transitions, those deep risks, without having that fear, paralyzing you almost like stopping you, freezing you in the frame of mind that you're in, and not being able to go and make that move that will inevitably lead to that next stage in your business and in your life. So we did a lot of work around this. We also did a lot of work around their time management, their overwhelm, their energy, and really having a look at where there were so many energetic leaks in their life and in their business, because these things are interconnected. And often these are playing out at an unconscious level. And this is why the work with the subconscious mind is so powerful, because you start to then, you will loop round and loop round and loop round until, you could be wasting years looping round on these programs and never fully getting to the bottom of what that is. Or maybe you are aware of what your self-saboteur is. It's not enough to just know about it. It's when you start tackling it and working with it and creating a place of safety in your body, then the changes then happen. It then becomes safe to be able to make those moves. It then becomes safe to be able to take those risks and make those decisions that you know deep down that you want to take, but you're frightened, you're scared, your body is in hijack mode. Your mind is trying to keep you safe and hold you back from that level, that next stage that you're ready to go to. But of course, it will try everything to pull you back from that stage. And this is why, doing this work around your identity, doing this work on your subconscious mind, stripping back the deeper layers will result in you changing your mindset, because you are working on patterns and behaviours and programs that have been programmed for years. Now, I would see this in my career where for years, working with complex trauma, working with complex addictions, working with really, really deeply entrenched behaviours. And when it comes to having a plan in place and, let's strategize this plan. This is what it's going to look like. This is what this next stage is going to look like. You're ready to go. But what would always happen is the body is so powerful. The body and the subconscious mind is so powerful. It then inevitably pulled that person back from making the progress that they wanted to make, which then would create a habit loop around them going back and displaying the same behaviours, same habits, and being in the same circumstances. And they would just find themselves going over and over and over and being looped back in. Now, this happens a lot in business, where someone has an intention that they're going to post daily, or they're going to post 3 days a week, or they're going to do something in their business, release a program, raise their prices, and that can start to really impact on the subconscious mind if it's not on board. If your subconscious mind is like, nope, that's not going to happen, that is not safe for you, then you're up against a challenge. Because what I see so often is people raising their prices, they will feel comfortable raising their prices, but then the saboteur comes in play, and then what happens is they then fill their programs full of fluff, or start to add extras in to make up the price. So the price is then no longer raised, it's just full of other stuff which justifies that price, and that's not really raising the price. So there are all sorts of ways that your subconscious mind will cleverly hijack you at every single level, every level. Its job is to keep you safe. Its job is to make sure that you're not making those bold, risky moves. And what I want to say is, what has got you here today is not going to get you to that next stage. It's an identity shift. It's a change that you have to ask yourself, are you prepared to be uncomfortable? Are you prepared to do that deeper work? Are you prepared to look at the shifts and the changes and change the trajectory of your life? Because when you make these changes, it doesn't just affect you, it affects everyone around you. It will affect your relationships, your family life, your business, your client work, the proximity. It will affect all of that. And are you really ready for that? And what I find is that people, when they get to that uncomfortable stage, they pull back. They pull back because their mind and their ego is battling with them not to make those moves. Now, I am working with many clients just now that are going through these transitions, they're going through these stages, they're going through these up levels, and they are fully held in a space. I fully hold them in this space to allow them to become safe for themselves. I allow them to make those, you know, big moves that they want to make, because we have deep conversations around this. Deep conversations, not deep conversations. Deep conversations. And it's often the deep conversations that people will shy away from. You know, the money conversations, the uncomfortable conversations, the situations where you know for a fact that it's going to feel uncomfortable and you will want to just pull back from that. And inevitably blocking what is already for you and is already intuitively come in. So what I would advise anyone that is going through an up level just now, or they feel that, you know, there is something on the other side of this, and everyone is made for more. 100% everyone's made for more. I have, through my timeline, you know, dealt with complex trauma, dealt with money issues, dealt with several life adversities to manage to get to where I am now. Where years ago it felt unsafe to come on camera, it felt unsafe to speak up, it felt unsafe to have a voice, it felt unsafe to assert my opinion. And once you break those limiting beliefs, once you start to move out of these beliefs that are really stored in the body, because it's not just a case of feel the fear and do it anyway. It's not about that. Because yes, you can feel the fear, and yes, you may go and do that, but how are you really showing up as you do that? Are you scatty? Are you all over the place? Are you a nervous wreck while you're doing that? And yes, there are many, many values to being able to make those risky moves, but you have to be able to settle yourself at the same time. So being in safety with the subconscious mind, getting that on board, that is like your best friend. Your best friend is your subconscious mind, alongside your intuition. Your intuition is going to guide you, your subconscious mind is going to get you there. So if this resonates and you are feeling these stretches, these up levels, these really risky moves coming in, but you know there's something really amazing on the other side, then reach out. I'd love to chat with you, because we do all this in the academy. This is why it's called the Expansion Academy, because literally people are expanding from the inside out. It's not more strategy you need. It's not more. Sometimes this is about really going inwards, doing the deeper work around changing, making the shifts, the identity shifts. And just quickly before I close, one of the massive identity shifts that I had to make for me as I was growing up was that I didn't let my trauma define who I was. I didn't let myself become a victim to that trauma. And most recently, over these last 2 years, I have, you know, not drunk alcohol for over 18 months now. I've not any chocolate for 18 months, and not confectionery chocolate, and not had any like Haribo's, jelly babies or anything like that. And I had to really change my identity around that, because my identity before was I'm a person that loves alcohol, I'm a person that loves sweets. And that was my identity. And what I noticed was when I started to do this work with myself and you know, with coaches and mentors, I started to change what the language I was saying to myself. I was starting to, in the first 6 months, I was saying to myself and others, oh yeah, I'm not drinking alcohol just now because I'm doing a year's challenge and that's what I'm doing just now. And, you know, I got my mindset around that. When it come to the 9th or 10th month, I heard myself starting to play out a new story. And that new story was that I was no longer a person that was drinking alcohol. Now that was, you know, quite a shift, because then everything changes around you when you make those trajectory changes in your mindset and in your belief system. It comes from within. There's a deeper place that that's coming from, and there's something always guiding you, just as I was guided to stop using alcohol, stop using sweets as a suppressor to the feelings that I was having around stress and overwhelm. And my life has changed dramatically since I have changed the identity around that. And it's the same with the book author. You know, the author has to become they have to get into the identity of what the writer looks like. And an author changes their identity around, well, I'm a writer. They get up in the morning and they write because they're an author. It's the same with the person that's really healthy and really fit. They get up and exercise every day because that's their identity. So I would ask you, what is your identity, and what are the shifts that you're prepared to make and the discomfort you're prepared to feel to be able to reach that next up level, that next transformation, that desire that is so close. It's within you, it's coming through you, and you're on the peripheral. You're almost, I don't like to say the word there, because when we have these intuitive nudges, it's showing us a light, it's illuminating where we're going next, or the opportunities that can come in. So there's no distance. It's doing this work to be able to allow yourself to move there, to move to that next stage. And this is a lot of the work that I do with my clients. So hashtag replay, if you've caught up in this, let me know if you're going for an up level. Let me know some of the things that your self-sabotage will bring up when you're going to make those big moves, because it's about riding those emotions, riding the storm while you're in there, and being able to move to that next level that you're so desiring, that's so they're ready for you. So I will catch you all on Monday, where I will be back with 5 more days of lives, and I shall see you then. Have an amazing weekend.